let's talk about some cash flow tips that'll keep your commercial cleaning business spitting cash out at you instead of going backwards. Hey, I'm Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO, and I know what it's like to not get paid by a customer for a long time. And I know what it's like to not get the cash that you need in order to make payroll, to make ends meet. You've got to be able to get it in time and to train your customers to do it automatically so that you don't have to keep following up with everyone. So that's what we're going to talk about right here, is some tips and some things that you can do to make sure you keep getting paid on time. Number one, which is actually underrated, is actually accepting credit card payments from customers. Yes, I know that there's fees associated with credit cards anywhere from 2 to even 3.5%. But here is what you can do. You can have your customers be billed on the first day of the month for that month's services. So for example, if I have a $10,000 per month client, then I can actually charge their card for $10,000 and have the cash in my account at the very beginning of the month, instead of paying other people along the way, right? I've got to pay out maybe half. So I got to pay out $5,000. And then if I bill that client at the end of the month, then I'm still waiting until I receive their money and I'm still out $5,000. And if I even got to wait another month, then I'm out $10,000 before I get my first $10,000 payment from the customer. That is a tough situation to navigate. But if you're able to put them on a credit card, then think of it like this. You can get the money up front and the customer can still pay their credit card off at the end of the month. So it's still almost like they're paying you at the end of the month, but you're getting your cash up front. Also, credit cards offer benefits and protections to your clients, so it's another incentive for them to use credit cards to pay you for services. And I've had many people say, you can't get a 6-figure customer on a credit card. We had hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue on a credit card. And it was fantastic because we got all of our money up front in that month. So then when we added more accounts, we weren't having to make sure we had the cash in order to pay people to handle that account until we get paid by them. We just got paid up front. So the more accounts we added, the more cash got stacked at the beginning of the month instead of the reverse happening. So if you're in a cash crunch, consider credit cards. And number two, let's say a customer does not want to pay you via credit card or pay you up front. You can use what's called a receivable line of credit or a receivable loan. I know that QuickBooks does these, and there's several different companies out there that do these. Again, there's probably a 1%, 2%, 3% fee associated with it. But what happens is, let's say again, you got that $10,000 a month customer, you send an invoice for that, then they will actually lend you a portion of that invoice in cash, or even the whole invoice value in cash. And when you get paid by your customer, then you just pay off what you owe them. And they even have some advantageous programs to where you have up to 60 days of no interest in order to pay them back. But you do have to be careful, because if you don't pay it off in the interest-free time period, then the interest rate on the balance due is going to be really, really high, typically as high as 18 to 25%. But if you need the cash now and you know you're going to get paid by your customer in time, because they always do, then it's worthwhile because you got to cover payroll and your other expenses. And number three is we actually set the expectation with our clients that they have to pay us upfront for services. So once someone approves our quote, they say, we're going to choose you, and they say, how do we get started? We say, well, billing is going to work this way. All customers have their payments due to us and remitted by the 1st of the month or the 5th of the month for that month's services. And we start with that negotiation point. Most people don't even bat an eye about it. They say, sure, that's totally fine. If they question it, we just say, we need to have the cash on hand in order to cover the expense for services. Oh, okay. They'll say that makes sense. Now, some of your larger clients, like your multi-6-figure and some of your 6-figure ones, might have a little bit of pushback with that, and they might say, well, we really can't do it at the beginning of the month. Well, that's not a problem. We can just move it a little further into the month. Maybe we need payments due by the 15th. Or if you need to negotiate more, they could be due by the 30th. But still, you're not waiting to send your invoices at the end of that month and then waiting for them to send a check so you're out 45 days of cash, right? Or even longer than that. You're getting your invoice to them as soon as possible, and they're sending the payments to you as soon as possible. We have multi-6-figure customers that pay us at the beginning of the month, every single month. All that cash is there for the entire month's services. And here's a pro tip. What you can do is you can, again, use a credit card or even an auto ACH first, so where you automatically draft from their bank account or draft from a credit card. And then you can actually do that for 6 months to a year or so, and then switch to checks, because we do want to cut out fees, right? We want to make more room, more profitability, more money for ourselves as owners, and to keep growing our companies. But we trained our customer with the expectation that the money is due at the beginning of the month for that month's services. So when you switch and take away that expense and you move to checks or other lower cost methods, then you can let your customer know, in order to make this work, we're going to invoice you ahead of time. We're going to invoice you, say, on the 15th of the prior month for the upcoming month services. What that would look like is, if we're going to be invoicing for August, then we send our invoices on July 15th for August services, with everything due by the 1st or the 5th of August. Now, as a bonus tip, here's an email that we like to send to customers whenever they do owe us money. And I know it can be funny sometimes in the cleaning industry because you're not sure about how the client relationship is going. It might be on edge and you feel bad about asking for money, but they do owe you the money they promised to pay based on your service agreement or your contract. So here's what you can say in order to get them to get you the money that you're owed. You can say, "Hi, contact name. Our system is showing that payment for this invoice number has not been received yet. Let me know if payment was sent and I'll be sure to check our records. If you have any questions, please let me know." And you can start off with an invoice like that, just saying, "Hey, our system's not showing this. Were you able to send it? Did it make it over here? I'll be sure to check things on our end." And from there, it's a very friendly conversation, and you can work together to solve the problem of where is this payment at? And if it's behind, they will correct it. So those are some really quick tips that we have used to help build our cash flow situation in our company to be extremely strong on the front end and positive as we keep growing and growing and growing. Building that cash avalanche on the front instead of a cash suck that's happening as you decide to grow. If you want to build a 7-figure commercial cleaning company or even go beyond that, go to commercialcleaningsceo.com where you can get free resources and even work with me. Again, my name is Matt. I'm your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. And until next time, keep building.